Welcome everyone, Farmer Cop here. This is going to be us taking a look and taking a deep dive into the newly released, newly out there gameplay trailer for Farming Simulator 25. It is absolutely incredible, and we're going to take a look at all of it here in a second. What I will say, if you haven't already, pre-order the game. You're going to get the Macdon bonus pack or order the collector's edition. Get the Year 1 Seasons Pass, get all that good stuff. You can use the links down below in the description to do that if you're on PC to get PC copies of it. And if you're on console, obviously you should still pre-order it as well. If you're confused about what version you should buy or what the Year 1 Season Pass is, down below in the description, I have a link to a video that'll kind of explain the differences between all the different packs, and it'll help you out in terms of that. Without further ado, let's take a look at this trailer. I am going to boil this trailer down piece by piece, and we're going to take a look at every aspect of it. But first, I want you to watch it, and I want you to take it all in. If you haven't seen it before, just take it all in. If you have seen it before, just skip ahead a couple minutes, and then we'll keep diving into it. But I'm going to go ahead and let it play for you right now.
Peggy 3.
All right, so obviously that is a very impressive trailer. But before we dive into it, I want to say a big thank you to today's video sponsor, which is G-Portal. As you guys know from watching my channel, I don't really accept a lot of sponsorship deals. I've had a couple sponsors here and there. Most of my videos aren't sponsored. I only sponsor stuff that I actually truly believe in their products and what they do, and seems to be applicable to the channel is kind of my general rules. Obviously, G-Portal, they do game servers, so you can have Farming Simulator 22 servers, or an older version of the game as well, or any other game that you play on with your friends. You can get any of those in the form of a really nice server. So they have pretty much everything in terms of that. If you use the link down below in the description, it will, one, go to help support the Farmer Cop channel, which I know a lot of you guys are huge supporters and want to do that as best you can, which I appreciate. And it also gives you, the user, the consumer, 10% off of that server rental, which is a really good deal. So big thank you to G-Portal for being such a kind sponsor and a great company to work with. And honestly, their servers, they're the best out there. There's a reason I work with G-Portal. I would work with a different server company if I thought they were better for you guys, but G-Portal is pretty much the best out there in terms of the overall value. Their servers have really high quality. You can choose where you host them. And for adding a ton of mods on there, which if you guys know me, and I think I know a lot of you guys like to add a lot of mods, they're the cheapest in terms of that to add a ton of mods to your server. So make sure you guys check out G-Portal. And big thank you again to them for sponsoring this video. But without further ado, let's dive into more of the aspects of this. So you're going to see a slightly zoomed in version of the trailer on your screen. It'll tell you when I'm pausing it and playing it, because I'm going to pause it at certain areas and talk about different things. there's a lot of features. I think I have, oh gosh, like 10 to 15 bullet points here of all new stuff that we're learning here. Some of it is stuff that I'm going to mention is just we already kind of know it, but we're going to go through it. So I'm going to play a little bit into it here.
Peggy 3.
And you will hear the audio as well. So in that first little chunk, we do get kind of a quick summary of the video, which we're going to begin to break down everything in there. And the big thing is the tornado. I just about lost my mind when I saw that tornado at the end of that. And if you didn't see it, that's okay. We're going to go through it again. Don't worry. I mean, you guys just watched the trailer, so it's all in there. You guys know about it. But if we keep playing it, we're on Riverbend Springs. That's all fine and dandy. We've seen plenty of that. We've seen this farm before. Nothing new there. You see down there at the bottom, I believe that's the New Holland. And I think that is because we see it later on. And I'll show you guys that later on. It's not clear what it is right now, but we'll get a much better look at it here soon. And also in the very background, it's kind of hard to see behind Farming Simulator 25. You can see the cow pen back there, which we're going to get a closer look at here in just a second. I believe that's the next thing that they show us. You can see some baby cows back there, which is pretty cool. If you look just above the OR in Simulator, you can see the cows in the background. Very hard to see, but they're back there. We keep playing a little bit. Here we have a couple of cows on the left-hand side. Looks like different ages. So I think that we're not just going to have baby animals. We're going to have various stages of baby animals, which is going to be a huge step forward for the game. We can see a nice cow frolic by. Here we have what looks like either probably a wheat or barley field. And we have a look at the Macton pack, which is, oh, I missed it, of course, which is swathing it. So that's pretty cool to see. Now, one thing I'm not going to talk about a lot is I'm not going to talk about the lighting. We've talked a lot about the lighting. And so I'm not going to talk a lot about that because you're going to see a lot of really cool aspects of the lighting. I'm not going to point all those out to you guys because we've kind of, I think we beat that over the head plenty. You guys know we're getting some new lighting. So here we have a look at one of the pieces of Oxbow equipment. And here, I think that was the Challenger. So I kind of want to go back a little bit. Let me go back here. You might see my mouse on there a little bit. So here, this guy is the Challenger. I'm pretty sure that's a Challenger that we just got hinted. But yes, we have, if we go back even just a little bit further, we have the Macton here. Talked about that. Then we have, of course, one of our new pieces of the Oxbow spinach equipment for one of the new crops. And then here, I'm pretty sure this is a Challenger. And yes, obviously the lighting looks great. We'll keep moving. Here we have baby pigs, little piglets on the left-hand side. And we see another one in a second. Look at him. Look at that little guy. They're so cute. They're so stinking cute. Oh, man. Here, we've kind of seen this before. I don't think there's anything new here. I think that's the new Case Quad Track. And I don't think it's pulling anything crazy. I don't know if that's a new piece of equipment or not. But I think here they're mostly trying to show off the lighting and kind of how some of the field work looks. Here, this guy right here. This is important here. So we have something here. This cedar that's getting pulled by this Massey Ferguson. That's obviously a Massey Ferguson. There's no arguments there. Well, actually, one thing I want to note as well, which I actually didn't put in my notes, is that license plate's definitely an American style license plate. And we actually know what state it is for, and I'll show you what state it's for here in a second, because the state that the map is based on is actually announced, which I don't think we've ever had that for a Farming Simulator base game map where it says, hey, this is actually the state this is based on, which this does say that. So, all right. Continuing on from there, this cedar on the back is a new brand of equipment coming to Farming Simulator 25. That is a Novag brand cedar, which is pretty cool. It took me a while to figure out what that N went for, and the only thing that saved my bacon is right here, up just above all those hoses. You can barely read part of the brand, so I kind of had to plug and play a little bit with Google to figure it out. But you can also see a lot of really good detail on the field work here. The field itself, the texture doesn't look great, but look at the cedar move. There's a lot of good movement there, so that's pretty cool to see. Here we're harvesting spinach. We have a Branther trailer in the background there. Nothing crazy new here. We're seeing the spinach harvest happen, which we've seen that before. Here's a big deal. So it's starting to rain. We know what's going to escalate from it because we've already seen the trailer. It's starting to rain here. So it's a very light rain to start first off, and you can see the water droplets are even on the beacon. Like this is a lot of detail, how those random water droplets are on the equipment and the mirrors and stuff like that. You can see the windshield wipers work flowing. You can see here we have a little bit heavier rain. It's coming down at a nice angle. We have a really cool kind of mountain actually in the background there. And you can see that as the rain picks up and the weather picks up, this is the fastest we've ever seen crops kind of get blown around and move around. So that's really cool to see that. Harvesting is stopping. So there's a few things in this area here. The harvester stopping, which it's stopping in the rain because you can't harvest. So I don't know if there'll be a lot of other like specific effects that you have to look for crop moisture and stuff like that before you can harvest. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but at least right here we are seeing that the harvester is stopping during the rain, which makes sense. It has to do that. In the background, we see a couple trailers, which we later at the end of the video found out are Load King Super Bees. And then we also see a nice truck on the front of that, which I'm not going to talk about that truck yet because that truck is new and it's very cool. All right, continuing on. Here's the truck. So first off, we see the guy running. The rain is picking up. He's running to try to get out of the rain, get stuff going. You see the J&M grain cart there, which we know is a new brand coming to Farming Simulator 25. This is an international TranStar. There's more to it than that. I can't remember. It's the something Eagle or something other. I didn't write all that down. I totally forgot to write down the specific one. But anyhow, it's an international TranStar cab over truck, which is pretty cool. So we haven't had that before. It's kind of an older school truck, which is really cool to see that coming to the game. And anything you see in any of these trailers or anything like that is pretty much guaranteed to be in the base game. All right, we saw something there, which I think we're about ready to see the tornado. We know we're about ready to see the tornado. I'm going to actually play it back just a little bit to show you. What we're looking for here. If I can find my cursor. There we go. Okay, so what we're looking for here, if we go just back to where he's running, you're going to want to see that there's a big flash of lightning and we hear a thunder sound. Just like that. Now we know we're about to see the tornado. Maybe we have thunder, lightning sort of stuff, and maybe that affects the crops. I don't know. It could do some different things. It's cool to see that that's part of it. Obviously, the rain picked up and the wind picked up with the weather. So that makes it quite realistic in terms of the weather, which is pretty cool to see. And now we see tornado, craziness. It's blowing stuff everywhere. It looks really good for a game. That looks pretty realistic. Now, and I don't mean to brag, I've recently watched the movie Twisters. I don't know if you've seen that one. It came out to theaters. I rarely watch new movies, but my friends invited me, so I went. But anyhow, it looks pretty realistic. Comparing it to a movie. But anyhow, I don't know anything about this scene here. I think it's just another view of the tornado. We have a bird's eye view of the tornado. Now here, this is a big deal right here. So this is where we see it. The Peel Ferry, operated by the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department. So it's a very detailed sign. It looks really great, but it tells us we are in Arkansas. We've never had that on a map before, not that I can think of. We're in Arkansas, we know. But anyhow, the weather's escalating. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. We're seeing different views of it. That tornado looks really cool. Now, we don't know if it's going to destroy like buildings or anything like that, but we do know, as you guys have seen from the trailer, that it does cause damage, which we're about to talk about here in just a second. Boom. This is a big deal. There's a lot going on here. So first off, we see where the tornado went across. It destroyed the crops. I know it's not the most realistic looking thing, but this is a huge step forward where we actually have a form of weather that is going to change the crops in a specific localized area where it affects them. It's not something that just affects the whole field. It's going to affect where it struck, which is cool. In the background, we're going to get a closer look at these two in a second. There's some trees that are snapped off, so trees are going to get destroyed by the tornado. That's amazing, guys. We've never had that. And it's not just like the regular straight here. Look at the trees on the side, the left-hand side of the screen, and then towards the right-hand side, but not all the way over there. Those are kind of the more, I would say those are the unforestry friendly trees, the trees that you wouldn't want to do forestry with. Those ones are also destroyed and frayed in a very similar manner, which is really cool to see. But keep going, we can see that yes, it affected just that area of crops where it went through. On the left-hand side, you can see the stumps kind of out there where it went through. So yeah, it just went through and wrecked the landscape. And here we get a really good view of that. And now here's where we see the New Holland again. We see the New Holland T7 here, the Blue Power. And we see the cows in the background as well. And the New Holland is pulling a Grimmy Seeder, which is a new seeder that's designed for sugar beets, but it's new to the game, that seeder. And then here's another big deal here. We get a view of a new brand here, the Senebogan. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly or not, but it's a new brand, which is pretty cool to see that. Here we're back over. This is where we see the Load King trailers. We see the J&M grain cart kind of at work here. Then we have a Great Plains Seeder here. We have the spinach getting ready to be unloaded. All looks just absolutely fantastic. And then here, people I don't think are going to think a lot of this, but that's a Valtra in the background, which we've had Valtra before, so it's not a new brand of the game. But this is the first time it's been in base game, is my understanding. So there you go. We have Valtra in the base game. And here, this is probably one of the biggest moments in the whole video. That's a goat, everyone. That is not a sheep. That is a goat. So not only are we getting baby animals, one of the other new animals, in addition to water buffalo, is this goat. Goats are coming, which is one of the animals I predicted, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I was not told by anyone at Giants or anything like that before I made that prediction. That was just legitimately a guess, and I just happened to be right. But yes, we get goats. This is awesome. We're going to go back. We, of course, have to watch the goat. Yeah, that's awesome. And then we have the pre-order stuff here. That's the end of it. But yes, just the teaser of the goat at the very end is absolutely incredible. But that's what I've got for you guys. I've taken enough of your time. Thank you for hanging out with me and watching this. There's a lot of big things coming. Giants is still saving the best for last, guys. They seriously are. We haven't seen the Asian map yet. We have a lot more to come. They have still plenty of time to announce stuff and release stuff in the next 3 months leading up to the actual release of the game. We're going to get a lot more information, so look forward to that. This is going to be their biggest game yet, and I think this is going to be their biggest step forward, and it's going to mean a lot of things for the franchise and going forward for all of us to enjoy playing on it. But there you guys go. If you guys enjoyed, please drop a like down below. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button up on the screen to join the Farmer Cop channel and turn on your notification bell so you don't miss any future videos I may post. This has been Farmer Cop. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.